everyone. Welcome back to Small Stages, Big Sounds. This week I'm joined by a band that I did see on one of our small stages recently. It's a band called the Cartoon Cartel, and I saw them at the Patriot in Crumlin. So I'm joined by the members of the band, and we'll have a discussion about where they are, where they're going, what they see for the band, and take it from there. So, hi guys. Let us know who you are, and we'll take it away.
After you guys.
Hello, I'm Mark, and I play the drums in the Cartoon Cartel.
Tommy, I play guitar and sing in the Cartoon Cartel.
Hello, I'm Dan. I play guitar and kind of cover bass duties as well in the Cartoon Cartel.
That was something I noticed at the night at the Patriot. You had twin guitars, and you played the bottom end, Dan.
Yeah.
Is that the way you'd normally go?
No, it was just something that kind of happened when we put this band together. We just realised that we worked really well as a unit with us three, and we moved really quickly and creatively. It worked. So the way technology's moved now as well. There's a lot of stuff out there, like splitting signals and lowering octaves that meant that in reality we could function tonally across the spectrum of frequencies as a three-piece. And so we decided to give that a go as we all enjoyed what we were doing at rehearsal, and we kind of hoped that would translate out when we played live.
Okay. Well, like I said, I did notice the difference, mainly, not that I'm musical, but my son's a guitarist, so I did notice the difference. And at least you seem to be making it work. And I did notice also that the sound was very different to the stuff that you normally get that's going around as well.
Well, that's good. That's what we want. Yeah.
So what are your influences then? Who's the stuff that you listened to that got you to this point?
Oh, blimey.
Yeah, blimey.
Yeah. There's a lot of different stuff. I mean, we've sort of, our backgrounds, to be honest, in music are quite different in some ways. I mean, I'll let everyone talk for themselves. I mean, what I kind of like, I've always liked the more minimal, heavy stuff. I've been in hardcore bands, metal bands, but predominantly I've played quite a lot with Dan. The relationship I've got with Dan, we've been in quite a few bands together. And it's always been more of that heavy sort of groove. We like funk, funkadelic, things like that. So we always brought that sort of groove, heavy element. And then, as I say, my sort of input to it was more of that minimal, heavy, sort of aggressive side of it.
Yeah, definitely. Totally agree. Like, there's always, I think, obviously, personally, I like a load of different genres of music. Obviously, I love rock and metal as well. But I think primarily, as long as there's a groove there, as long as there's something that's kind of moving you and making you kind of nod your head and kind of like sway a little bit, that's what holds my attention. That's what I look for, and that's what I enjoy when listening to and creating music.
I would say, because watching you at the Patriot, I'd be surprised if you actually saw anything, because you don't particularly stand still, do you, Dan?
I can barely see throughout most of the gig, but yeah, there's a lot of coverage. There's a lot of hair coverage.
I noticed that in a few of the photos I took.
Yeah, I think it's. I'm just trying to recreate Status Quo's Pile Driver album, the front cover. That's what I'm trying to do. Just hair and maybe a nose.
What about you, Tom?
Well, I've been brought up with, listening to Led Zeppelin but also a lot of Michael Jackson and things like that, Elvis. So I think I was very interested in not only heavy music, but hooky music as well. Things that were 3 minutes long and memorable. I suppose I have concentrated a lot, and I moved to Nashville quite early in my 20s. So songwriting and all of that was the main focus. So meeting up with these guys has just been amazing, because there's just so many ideas that they come up with as a pair, and then I kind of feel like I get not a scalpel as such, but just move things around a little bit, move the puzzle around a bit, and all of a sudden we look at each other and we've got a song, and sort of we sort of put very little effort into it, so to speak. We're not fighting each other to write these songs, which is wicked. And I think that's because of not only our experience, but just three sort of individual places of approaching that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you said you went to Nashville in your 20s. That must have been a hell of an experience.
Yeah, well, it was one way to find out that you're not very good at the guitar, I can tell you that. So that was like a cold shower, but also, that it just made me grip my teeth and want to get into it. And I was lucky enough to record albums out there and tour a lot of the US. So yeah, we did some pretty big touring, and I was just obsessed with fashioning a great show, but also a good set. How a set moves from the moment you come on to the moment the lights go down at the end of the show, and whether that's half an hour, 45, an hour and a half. I think the idea of a set is extremely important, and it's one of the things we said to each other very early on. That let's fashion not only some great songs that we enjoy playing, but let's fashion a great show and a great set.
Well, I have to say, the name of the band made me go, huh? To a certain extent. And it doesn't show anything with the music. The only thing I can think of is the music is about as heavy as one of Wile E. Coyote's rocks dropping, you know?
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Damn right.
So,
Yeah.
how much stuff have you got recorded at the moment?
As it stands at the minute, we have got some jam room recordings just so we can structure stuff. But I think we were kind of old school in our approach, where it's like that age old thing, and you really want to get out in front of people and play those songs before you record them, because when you play a few times, like, you know, you can hear what works, what doesn't work, and the songs are always kind of changing structurally. So I think it made sense for us just to kind of, as we've done, just kind of hold fire, play some gigs, play some shows, and then, you know, fine tune it and go from there, really, and then decide to put it down onto tape, you know.
Okay, so where do you see yourself going in the gig process then at the moment? How many more gigs have you got lined up?
We've got another one in London in a couple of weeks, and then we've got another couple that we can announce, like, coming out through the summer as well. So I think the idea is to, you know, gig these songs, you know, enough to then go in and then record, and then, you know, we can go from there. I mean, we're lucky enough that we've all been we've played music for a long time, so we know quite a few people that, you know, are promoters or operate venues, so we can just reach out to them, and instead of them asking for a demo, like, they know who each of us are, and we can go on the strength of that. So we're kind of lucky in that way, I think, in regards to not having to rush the recording or demo and stuff.
Okay, well, while we're talking about gigs, and obviously you know the venues in the areas that you live, and you've played in some venues around in a different band, like Blind River for starters. But this tool developed by the Music Venue Trust, I'm going to share with you now, may be useful for you if you're looking for other venues.
Yeah,
so
cool.
Give me a sec. I'm just going to open up this screen. There you go. Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
It's called Hereby. Okay, as it's spelt there. And it's hereby.com. And what you can see, this is zoomed in on Cardiff. And you can zoom in, you can see what's playing all the way across, you know, the various venues. But this actually covers all the grassroots venues in the UK.
That's a good tool, man.
So, you know, if you zoom across, rattle it across, there we are. There's London.
Yeah.
And you can zoom in and see what's on there as well.
Yeah.
You know?
It's pretty cool.
But it's not just that. You can actually search it. You can explore the venues to give you an idea of what facilities they are and what style of music they play, you know?
Yeah.
You can discover various artists as well. So it's a really useful tool. And I'm surprised that it's not been much more promoted by the Music Venue Trust with PR companies and bands, because it's such a useful piece of kit.
Yeah, it looks wicked, man. I'll dig into that.
Yeah. So, like I said, you can choose by scene, you can do whatever you like, but it really is a useful tool. Everybody I speak to said, wow, that's really good. And the best part about it is it covers all the venues in the UK and the ones in America as well.
There you go.
So, you know, I mean, you'll always find somewhere that's looking for a gig if you're looking for a grassroots music venue. And that's the beauty of it. That's all right. Anyway, so like I said, you've got a couple of gigs coming up. You're going to tour all the music that you've currently got. Do you see yourself this time next year looking to do festivals and things?
Absolutely. Yeah, why not? And I think we're probably going to jump onto a few by the end of this summer. Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. As you quite rightly said towards the beginning, we sound a bit different, and we should really be, you know, getting out there and playing with lots of these bands, because I think I've not really seen a band quite like us in the last few years.
Well, as I said, it was different. It was very definitely different.
I don't mean for that to sound conceited, of course. I just think, with the experience that we've all had, 20 years plus in the music industry, we were very careful to sort of pick and choose what we wanted to do with this project. And that's why, we said to Dan, and I were speaking up, well, why don't you split your channel and play bass as well, Dan? And then that worked, and we were like, yeah, brilliant. Okay, that's job done. And then the sound of it was just so bloody aggressive. Yeah, I think we were sort of out. We've surprised a couple of people that, lots of bands have got 4 or 5 members in, especially in this genre. I think for a really good power trio 3-piece to come out would be really interesting. So yeah, why not? Let's go.
mean, to give you an idea of bands that are trios that are making waves, the one from this area that's making big waves is Florence Black. And they've just toured with Tremonti, so they got a headline tour later this year. So,
Very good.
maybe I know they were looking for bands for support, so it may be worthwhile dropping them a line.
Yeah.
I believe Ange at the Patriots very much got quite a bit to do with them.
They manage themselves.
Yeah.
They are managed by one of the guys from Bullet. Padge tends to manage them, but they tend to do all their own creative stuff, and Padge just gets them in places. So, but they have got a big headline tour coming up later this year.
I mean, that's just the great thing about it. Isn't it? It's just like literally playing with people, getting in front of people's audiences as well, man. Like that's it. You just convert people one by one. That's always been. None of us are afraid of hard work, man. And that's the good thing about just wanting to get out there and play. It's a if you can win people over one by one, man, or 5 by 5, 10 by 10, it don't matter. It's like it's that grassroots upwards thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and everybody's got to start somewhere. It's like me with this podcast. I've been doing it since just before Christmas, and I'm quite happy to talk to anybody that'll have me. Case in point, I've spoken to the head of the Music Venue Trust, mess about, straight to the head of the well, Mikko von Hertzen from the Von Hertzen brothers, Blaze Bailey, I've spoken on as well, and last week was Walter Trout. That's the one that was uploaded last night. So if you want to sign up and have a listen, it was an interesting conversation with Walter Trout, actually.
It's been about.
So, what music have you got available that people can listen to?
We're too new, baby. We're too new. We haven't got anything up yet. We've been just done 2 gigs. We've got some live stuff, but that got taken down because the user disappeared or something like that. So we're going to make sure we got some footage out of the next show for sure. That'll be up there. I kind of don't, it's not good to be too much of a mystery or inaccessible, but I also quite like the thought that you can only come and see it as well. And so, hey, it's all coming. But the thing is it's just so goddamn
it's so new.
We've had a countable amount of rehearsals, dude. You know what I mean? Oh well, no sweat. But yeah, next time. But it's good that you're getting that reaction that quick, and it's lots of people are quite seriously, we get quite a few messages and things about when our next shows are and stuff like that, and yeah, we're up for it. It's all at hand.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having us, man.
No sweat.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And if you want to come along again, just drop me a line. I'll see you again on the road somewhere in the South Wales area.
I think we'll at some point. If I think we'll be back at the Patriot at some point this year as well. So that's so I'll keep you posted with that. I think Anne just said that. And so it'd be good. Yeah,
Okay, okie dokie. Well, thanks for your time.